Coming up on this episode of The Village Idiom.
So, but it's not a lie.
No.
It's just not accurate.
It's not a lie if you believe it.
Dum dum da da, Village Idiom.
Hello, and welcome to The Village Idiom.
We are a podcast that every week chooses a popular saying to take a shallow but hopefully comedic and once in a while even interesting dive into its meaning, its usage, its origins, but we're also going to use it to hang our otherwise directionless conversation on. My name is Jurassic Mark.
I'm Skinny.
And right between us...
It's like, hey, we're like, the two outsides of a rose or something.
It's like an Oreo cookie.
You're a thorn, I'm a thorn, and you are...
I'm just Chris.
Chris!
Awesome.
Chris randomly ran into me. Well, it wasn't that random. You came and said hello a couple weeks ago. And
saw him on the road and randomly ran into him.
With my car.
I was standing on the road. And
that's all true.
Yeah, it is.
It's not like a misrepresentation, really, is it?
No, he
because that's actually how it happened.
I had to back out of the way for him to drive by.
That's true.
So anyway,
so all of these things.
We started chatting, and now we've got him wedged between us here for today's idiom. And maybe we'll try and convince you to stay for part 2.
You love a good number 2. Here we go.
There you go.
So, So
I was thinking of things that are misrepresenting.
Good. That's a good thing.
Which is a perfect little segue into today's idiom. Stuff that's not, it's kind of inaccurate. It's kind of rabbit traily.
It's kind of like...
it's a little bit something like this.
They have our friends. But you said the Quagmires were inside that box of
Wait for it.
I guess that wasn't his plan after all.
That wasn't his plan after all. It was a red herring.
It was a red herring.
Wait for it.
Red herring.
Just keeps going.
Red herring.
There you go.
The red herring. Something to throw you off the trail. Have you ever? What do you think of this?
I've heard of it.
Being thrown off the trail?
Thrown off the trail?
Are you a trail thrower offer?
Typically, yeah.
Have you ever used the saying red herring? Like, have you ever said, it turns out it was a red herring?
Not that I can recall, but I've tried to get, I've done, lots of surprise parties for people and things like that, and you have to divert their attention somehow.
There you go.
So that they'll do what you want them to do without knowing that you're going to surprise
So
them.
this was my thing on, is it just I want to smoke screen you to re-divert you, or is it misrepresenting?
It's definitely, I think all red herrings used, whether it's literature, movies, whatever, I think it's an intentional misleading. So
like, hypothetically, if there was a recent phone conversation that maybe you had, which literally happened 5 minutes ago.
Okay, so to explain that, I like, what do you call it, telemarketers. I really appreciate telemarketers.
You like messing with them.
I just like getting the call. I'm lonely, all right? And my goal is to keep them on as long as I can and have as much fun. So this one, the poor guy could hardly get 2 words, and he's like, "Hi, I'm looking for Mark." I'm like, "Yeah, this is Mark. Are you the homeowner?" And I said, "Oh, I'm one of them. There's 18 of us. It's a tricky split." And
we were just sitting up on the side howling.
And then you just go, and he's trying to recalibrate. Why are you even telling me this stuff? And he just wanted to offer furnace cleaning. And
you're actually there's not. We're looking for a 19th. Is this why you're calling?
I asked. I said, "Have you seen our ad? We're looking for." No, that's not me. No, I'm not interested. I'm like, "Oh, okay. Why'd you call then?" He goes, "Well, we're in your area cleaning furnaces." To which I said, "I don't think that's necessary. We have an exterior furnace with the pipe coming in a window." And he's just like,
I was going dollar store mirrors.
You don't
solar power.
He's like, you don't have
harness the sun.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I said that. I was trying to take your cues. He's like, you don't have vents and ducting. I'm like, I don't think so.
So is that a full misrepresentation, or is that a red herring?
I don't think that's a red herring, because I think a red herring is almost like you toss it and they go. So when we were geocaching more, there was red herrings a lot. And any of the problem-solving ones where it's like, it's got to do with the color red. Like the title is called red, and then you get through it all, and they're like, oh, man, it's so in your face. It's a red herring. They're literally using that color to lead me astray, and it's nothing but this math question in the corner.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's a red herring. You spend so much time trying to figure out something only to find out,
we were just talking about jobs and whatnot. Sometimes when you're in that prospective job field, do you feel like you're giving your employer a little red herrings to not hone in on all the exact points, or
Yes, but I also feel like a lot of places these days will throw a red herring at you in the interview, and they'll say, okay, so this is how things go here, this is how they go here. And then if you actually get the job, it's nothing like they said. And you're like...
You're waiting for that thing.
I'm waiting for, like, where's the...
Red.Herring.
Why does that keep happening?
Where's the thing? Where's the thing that you said would happen this way? And they say, oh, no, that'll happen later. It's like, that's never going to happen. And then you eventually are there for, like, whatever, 6 months to a year, and you're like, I'm onto this. This place is full of crap.
right. And so is the red herring just to just throw a little something at you to throw you off the scent of how
It's
organization is or not is?
It's to disguise the track that you think that it's on, right?
Right. It's like, it's not, this isn't really a real thing.
So
your
who
business.
better to give us the actual definition on the literature version and the idiom version of red herring than this voice?
The words red herring do not only refer to a common type of foraging fish that may have a crimson hue due to being
Lemony
smoked or
Snickets
painted
here?
with excessive nail polish. They can also refer to a distracting or misleading clue, such as a box marked
Gotta
VFD
support
that
the
had
team.
nothing to do with a secret organization.
There you go.
little putty.
He's literally given us, it's a misleading clue.
Well, I think
speaking
it's really weird to ever see putty in anything.
Anything else.
all you can see is putty now.
See, I got really...
I like Lemony Snickets.
I
That's
got
good.
really into the show Rules of Engagement, and he was in that. And
It's just his voice now.
yeah,
Just to be
He's also
a voice
Joe on
actor.
Family Guy.
and Kronk.
And Kronk, yeah.
No, isn't that Nicolas Cage?
Maybe on... Oh, no, that's the Croods.
Yeah. What was he?
Like the Emperor's New Groove, Disney.
Oh, Kronk. What's the guy's name from the Croods? Kronk? Wasn't he like the
it
dad?
is something like that. Nicolas
Yeah.
Cage,
Maybe
yeah.
it's crude.
Mr. Crude.
Nicholas Crude. So something that throws you off the track. Speaking of throwing you off the track, we want to just take a quick second and thank our sponsor, HelloFresh.
You know, I just had the most delicious veggie one-pot veggie chili. It's amazing. They send everything in their size, in their measurements. You barely need a brain. You just, step 1, turn on stove. Step 2, do this. There's no there's sometimes chopping, but it's like so ready to go. Could not be simpler. Dinner solved is their slogan and true to life.
So if you're looking for a quick meal, send us in write code to a Grecian Urn in one of your comments, or share a social media piece and write the comment in code to a Grecian Urn. And we'll make sure we send you a redemption code for some free HelloFresh or price discounts. So make sure you do that.
Perfect. Anyway, where were we?
We're talking about misleading.
Do they have a red herring meal package?
Oh, there's probably red herring meals.
We were talking
There's got to be
about-
a herring meals.
Speak of such a thing, red herring meals. I couldn't find red herring, but I could find herring.
With a red label.
Bottled, canned,
Dutch
bottled.
boy. This
Is it pickled?
This is, I don't know what they did to it,
Do
but
you have
I
to cook
figured-
it, or are we about to get salmonella?
You don't have to cook things
Can
from
you
a
get
jar.
No, that
salmonella?
comes from Sam.
That was- Well, you're taking the seal off that. Let me read this quick
This is herringella.
news article, speaking of feeding with herring. So here it is. I'm going to read it. Skippy, the bottlenose dolphin at San Diego SeaWorld, has surprised the theme park's trainers as he began to refuse to respond to the previously preferred method of dolphin training. For as many years as the park has been operating, they have used a combination of whistle sounds and herring rewards to train the intelligent swimming mammals. Most recently, Skippy, most known for his forward triple flip, has stopped responding. Both the trainers and the on-staff marine biologists were concerned for the dolphin's health. All were surprised when they found out that louder whistles were the solution. As it turns out, Skippy was hard of herring.
So stupid.
I wrote that article just for the pun.
Heart of herring. Oh, that's terrible. Sadly, I was eating it up.
You weren't even paying attention. You were
I was-
sniffing your...
For those who
We're
were...
going to find Skinny in a corner sniffing herring later.
Can you smell that?
Oh, a second you cracked that seal, I could smell
Okay.
Was
there.
there any doubt that you were going to smell that?
Well, it's...
So it looks like there's a little floaty garlic or something.
I'm going to go for one of these pieces. Will you guys join me in this quest for...
I'll try anything once.
Okay, here
Almost.
we go. I'll just take this Scooby snack right off the top here. You don't have to finish it. Just throw it in whatever garbage bag you find around here. Just leave it. That's fine.
Do you want me?
Okay, here I got this one.
This
You guys-
whole
you guys want some?
studio's gonna. I don't, but now I do.
You guys gonna hover? Oh, gee, that's a shame. Don't worry, it's not my desk. Don't worry about.
Do you guys
that.
eat a lot of fish?
Oh, I love the fish.
I married a woman who hates fish.
Really?
Yeah, so I don't eat it as much as I would
Really?
want to.
1, 2, 3.
It's pickled,
It's delicious.
so that makes it way better.
No wonder those orcas do backflips. That's delicious.
I can't swallow.
I don't lick my finger. That's not COVID.
That's
I'll take one of those paper towels because I've got
that's a hard
herring dripping down to my elbow. If I had a dime for every time I said that.
gross.
Did anybody not like that?
I'm not a fan. I like
thought it was
pickled
great.
things.
I thought it was fine.
I like fish.
But you don't like pickled fish.
I don't let that I can bite through the skin, and it's not right.
You don't look right.
I
That
don't.
didn't sit right with you.
No, I'm good. I don't need to do that again.
I think anything pickled is pretty good.
I like pickled things, but I don't know. Somehow
That's not,
it's still stuck
that's
in
not
the
coming
corner
off
of my
your
mouth.
skin.
It's okay. These desks are just rentals. It's all good.
Well, there you go. That was not red herring. That was just pickled herring.
yeah.
You can leave that with me.
Or you can have it, definitely, for sure. Misrepresenting people. So, if I was to say I am the chief technical officer of a podcasting outfit, does that sound accurate to you?
Close.
Close, yeah.
Why would I choose to throw somebody off the path? I can't.
How are you? Are you still chewing on
Yeah,
that?
it's not good.
You got a bad piece.
Did I? I took the piece right off the top, so that might not have been
I think
submerged
you're
the
just
whole time.
like got the gag reflex on chewing that skin.
Just continue, and I'll
So
work my way through it.
I think you're confusing red herrings with lying.
So,
Because a lie is not a red herring. It's throwing a useless
is it a lie?
clue.
Is it a lie?
What?
The chief technical officer of a podcast outfit?
No, but it's.
I don't know if it's been
It's just a
established.
more elaborate description of what you're doing, versus saying, "Okay, we've got $100 prize for the first person to send in the answer to this riddle link." But the riddle link is like has all these a theme of clues that mean nothing.
So, but it's not a lie.
No.
It's just not accurate.
It's not a lie if you believe it. If George Costanza has taught me anything,
Is that an actual
that's
quote?
a Costanza-ism.
It's not a lie if you believe it. Well, it can be wrong. You can believe something that's wrong. It doesn't have to be truthful and you believe it.
Oh mate, it's so gross. It's so sticky now. Why didn't we use a fork or something?
I don't know. It wasn't good. Have
I was trying to-
Have you ever had? Have you guys ever smoked salmon or anything like that?
Like
you know the hardest
from a
part
pipe?
about smoking salmon
Just telling your family members.
is rolling it.
I was finding
That's
a
your
zigzag.
joke.
I was finding a zigzag big enough to put it in.
I've never
smoked-
done it myself.
I've
had it.
smoked salmon.
I've eaten it. I've never. You've done it?
No, I've eaten it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've smoked it.
In
Oh, yeah,
what? You have a smoker?
Our
In your
buddy-
family?
Our buddy Rob Langford.
He's a smoker.
He's not a smoker, but he has a smoker, and so yeah, it was a fun little project. Dad caught the fish that same day. We filleted it, picked out the bones, brined it in this solution, and then smoked it. Amazing,
Huh.
To do a smoked salmon. It was a candied smoked salmon.
So how do you get the candied part of that? Is it a certain type of wood chip?
Roll it in pop rocks. It's amazing.
I heard about a kid who died on Pop Rock candied salmon. Ate too much. No, but actually, like you smoke it. There's different type of smoking of meat and fish by the type
is-
of wood chips or whatever.
This
So
is
what
a cold
makes it?
smoke? So there's. I'm not even messing with you now.
Cold
We're
smoke.
cold smoking. I feel like you guys are waiting for something more that's coming. There's not. There's cold smoking. So when you do in a smoker, if you just put it further away from the source of heat but still in smoke, it's called cold smoking.
Okay.
As opposed to you can just regular warm smoke it. Good talk, guys.
So the candied part. Back to my question.
So as far as the candied, it
Yeah,
was
what makes it candied?
well, the brine solution had a brown sugar in it.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, is that all you wanted?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a lot of answer for
Well, you
a
just
whole lot of
kept
nothing.
going with smoke and...
Sorry.
and
I thought you were interested.
I was. That's why I said, how'd you get the candied part? And you gave me Pop Rocks.
I thought you were messing with me.
No.
You had that look in your eyes. Sorry, that's just the pickled herring talking.
That's a pickled herring talking. Do you smell that still?
Mm-hmm. And taste it.
I can't wait to come back in here tomorrow when you guys are gone. And it's like, it still smells like pickled herring.
Because Vince will have left the open jar under the couch.
Under the couch. Okay, so here's a story. Or have I told this story before?
I don't know. You can tell your story.
We were back in my music days. We were on tour with another band, and we had been out there for a couple of weeks together. And they were leaving, and they were telling us about pranks that they had done on the road, but no pranks had been done. And so when they take off, we get in our vehicle, and it's an immediate smell of horrible fish, and we're like, no. So we lift one of the floor mats in the front, and sure enough, there's a like 8-inch squid underneath the floor mat, and we're like, you sucker. So we look under the other floor mat. Okay, throw it away. But the smell just lingers and lingers and lingers. Like, this is a rental. We got to take this vehicle back. And so after a couple of days, we're like, is it just me? Is it getting worse? So we started to tear the vehicle apart, and they had hidden. Okay, this is a good example of a red herring.
This is a perfect example.
Because they had hidden 8 squid underneath, like in little hatches and glove compartments, under floor mats,
underneath the
seats.
seat into the grilling.
And so they left the one obvious one for us to go, okay, we found it.
This is the one. This is the smell, guys.
So that we would take however many more days for the other 7 to just continue to rot and stink our vehicle up. And so the red herring was the obvious clue.
So what did the rental company do?
We nothing.
Did they tell you that you'd be herring from their lawyer?
See?
Yes, exactly.
It must be something in the room. It just happens.
Fumes.
Now that Chris is a dad, his dad joke level has gone up.
Up here.
Well, we are 15 minutes in here. And
I did want to hear, what is the time you've ever felt the most red-herringed, misled, rused? Before we start jumping into origins, where you felt the most like, that had nothing to do with anything. Something that's just completely thrown you off.
I don't know.
How about the last season of Lost? Have you seen that show?
How about
That's
all
a red herring.
How about all of... Okay, so the numbers in Lost, 4, 8, 15, 16, 23...
Nothing.
Nothing. It's a red herring. I was looking geographical, like, what does this number mean? I called
altitude,
it like
4,
it's
8,
a phone
15,
number.
16, 23, 42. It's in our heads.
Yeah, and there's nothing
There's
to
so
investigate.
much that you didn't. There's like after every episode, every 42 minutes is the episode. If you didn't have the commercials,
I would analyze
25 questions.
Yeah, it
and
was
you'd be
all
like, oh,
red
they'll get
herrings.
answered next time. Nope. 25 more questions. Yeah.
Why did that couple... remember the one with the spiders that kind of paralyzed people?
Yeah.
What did that have to do with anything?
But there was even little ones. Like there'd be like Hurley on the beach, and he's tuning a radio, and gets a station, and if you like look up the song that he finds, the song is titled this, which is a short story. This is one I actually discovered. I'm like, why that song? That was weird. So it's the same title as a short story, and the short story is about a man being hanged in the Civil War or something, and the story is when he gets hung, the rope breaks, and he's run for his life, and like the pursuit of all these soldiers after him, and finally gets home, and he's safe and sound, and then the story ends with, and then he breathes no more. And so that whole story was the millisecond between the rope letting go and his neck breaking. He created this story in his head.
Like Lost happened during that 1 millisecond?
Yeah, so there's this short story that has to do with the song that Hurley finds, and I'm like, hey, so is this all... Are they all dead then? And this is like, are they telling us they're dead and they've created this story in their minds because this short story reference, red herring. Nothing to do with
We would spend
Lost.
an hour talking about that afterwards, and then an hour searching online for things that other people were talking about. Come back to
that
each
was
other.
a funny line. Is that a quote from something?
Well, because every time something would happen,
That
you'd
show
be like,
was a
that
giant-
must mean something.
Yes.
So this is amazing writing. And then you'd watch more of the next episode, or, a couple episodes down the road, and you'd be like, wait, they just forgot this.
Yeah.
Like they're not revisiting this. This is like
So the last season wasn't the red herring. It was telling us that
Hurley ate everyone.
The 6 previous seasons was all red herrings.
Oh, that's
It had
true.
nothing to do with anything.
I bet you they ate herring on the island.
Maybe. I don't know. And the monster smoked it.
The smoke monster. Did we find out where that came from?
But the smoke monster is smoking the candied
thank
salmon.
you. I just volleyed it up for you. The smoke monster was there to protect the island.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
But I thought that was Ben's job.
Wow, I don't know.
Speaking of Ben, that reminded me. I want to do a shout out to username Ben Marr, who went out of his way to put a really positive review under one of our videos. I don't know how long he's been listening, but really appreciate people who go out of their way to make a comment and let us know that you're listening. We know you're out there. We're just not, we like this part of it. We're not tracking it. So sometimes we don't know. So when people make comments, it's great. So Ben Marr, if you're listening.
Shout out to Ben Marr.
Thank you. Did I get his name right? I wrote it down right here under the pickled herrings.
I don't want to touch it.
Ben Marr. Thank you.
It's all good. Thank you, Ben Marr. So we should probably get into actually where this origin story comes from this particular one.
Well, let's do it then.
I said some words. Where'd they go? Where'd they go? No one can know. I turned around and looked behind. Those words came from another mind. Origins.
Woo! I did my little air guitar solo, which reminded me, you just gave me a little tidbit of interesting information about the complex we're recording in. You know of a musician who lived in this complex back in the day.
Up there? Yeah, had a little recording studio.
Yeah, are you allowed to say who it was?
I'm not going to.
All right, well, it's a band that people would know, and I thought that was really cool, a tidbit. This used to be a lot of rehearsal space in here. So
over there was a garage.
We're bringing it back, boys.
Yeah, anyway, it was cool. I love finding out stuff like that. It's like backyard museum. All right, well, it is time for origins, and so for a bit of background, herring are not red. They are naturally silvery hue.
They're silverfish, but not a silverfish.
Correct.
Nobody
Silverfish.
likes those.
Silverfish is a bug. Mm-hmm. But there's lots of fish that are silver. Mm-hmm. Why are they called silverfish?
Makes no sense.
Huh. Red herring.
Continue origins.
But they do turn reddish brown when they're smoked by a smoke monster.
Or covered in paprika.
Or that, or just paint. Those are the 3 ways a herring can be red. So they would smoke them back in the day, long before refrigerators were invented, and this was done to preserve the fish for sometimes months at a time. And it also, even more than this right here in this pickled can, would make them even more smelly than they are. So smoked red herring would make them really, really stinky. So it was believed that red herring were dragged against the ground to help train hounds to sniff prey in the 17th century. So they would train these puppies, like drag it through and see if they could follow, because it was such an obvious scent. So like
I'd heard a reverse of that.
That they would drag the puppy through the woods and see if the fish could find the dog.
Yes. Did you hear this one? That the person who was doing some nefarious action would cross their path with the red herring to zappo like the nasal,
so
the olfactory senses
these
of the
are the
bloodhound.
2 running things. The first one is training the dogs to hunt foxes. So they would first start with the red herring. What you're referring to is another believed would be like escaped fugitives that are being hunted by the bloodhounds, and they would drag red herring across because it would distract the dogs and be like they'd be on the scent, but it's such a distinct smell. So both are the theories in the background of why red herring
Are either of those correct?
No.
Nothing to do with it?
Turns out that while both of those things...
Talk about a twist of events on the origins of red herring.
So, yeah, exactly. Both of those things are probable. Like, not just probable, like, oh, that makes sense to be an origin story, but it actually probably really happened. They probably did both happen, but the actual origin of this being an idiom is, funny enough, red herring were actually used to train horses, not dogs, and only if the preferred choice, which was a dead cat, was unavailable. So what they would do is the idea was that the horses had to
I'm a
get
dog person.
the horses. So this still goes back to fox hunting.
Okay.
So the horses would get spooked by different things, and these dogs are hot on the
Just hit it with a dead cat, as you do.
The dogs were hot on the scent, following the trail, and so different smells, whatever, would spook the horses. So they would train the horses to get used to, like, we're following a specific scent. The dogs were fine. Dogs are easy to train. It's the horses that needed the real training, and so they would use red herring to make a trail so that the horses wouldn't get, following the. This is what the quote from British entomologist Michael Quinion. Following the hounds amid the noise and bustle of a fox hunt, they would train the horses to follow the red herring scent. So, yeah, it goes back to horses.
I would not believe your balderdash on that particular one.
That's the
Training,
real one.
when have you heard of, like, bloodhound horses?
No, the horses aren't doing the hunt. They're using the red herring so that the horses aren't spooked by everything going on. They would train them. Like, the reason we're going crazy is we're following a scent. And so they don't have the same smelling capacity as a dog, especially a bloodhound, or actually fox hunts, they were using like beagles or something, right? At least in those paintings.
Sure. Must be true.
You mean the one of the dogs playing poker?
Yeah, that one.
It's like, I think he's got this. That's a red herring.
So the earliest reference to using herring for distracting hounds is for literally using it to distract hounds is an article published on February 14th, Valentine's Day, 1807 by radical journalist, I don't know what makes him radical, but William Cobbett in his polemical periodical Political Register. Say that 10 times fast. According to Cohen and Ross, and it was accepted by the Oxford English Dictionary, this is the origin of the figurative meaning of red herring. In this piece, William Cobbett critiques the English press, which had mistakenly reported Napoleon's defeat. Cobbett recounted that he had once used a red herring to deflect hounds in pursuit of a hare, adding it was a mere transitory effect of the political red herring. So he used it as an idiom, but was telling a true story about how he used it to deflect hounds in the pursuit of a hare.
And that became the legend.
So because he
of the
wrote
red
that
herring?
as the idiom, people took that as the origin.
That's funny.
His origin story.
But he was telling it as a fake. But it happened to him.
His story is real, but that's not actually where red herring idiom comes from. He was using it as an idiom and then tells this real life story.
So it was an accident.
People with an accent?
It was an accident.
Oh, it was an accident. Yeah. That people
he probably is English. He probably had an accent.
I know. I'm like, but he had an accent. I'm like, yeah, I guess so.
But they trained horses to listen for different accents.
What's that?
Accent.
I'm sorry, what?
I said.
So if you get a fish and a horse together, is that a red herring?
Oh my goodness.
I hate to see spawning season. It's not good.
Wow.
So I have something on the red herring.
Sure.
Okay, do it.
So in conversation, like if you're speaking of what a red herring is in conversation, it's something that is said to distract from the original argument and raises a new argument that isn't relevant to the original line of discussion, thus throwing someone off.
I'm sure it's happening right now tonight.
So like this, like, why did you put the dishes in the dishwasher this way? Well, why do you put it in that way? Why do you put it in this way? Why in 1994?
Your clothes are not in the hamper. Were we talking about that?
Exactly.
That's a red herring.
Then you forget you were arguing about.
I
the
feel
dishes.
like we've all been there tonight.
Yeah, exactly. I love the distraction, though. I just think it's funny to pull an argument away from the argument.
Yeah.
Yeah, to just take it into left field.
But I think in the middle of an argument, I don't know if I have the wherewithal to like try to be funny. I'm still busy arguing, so I don't know if I
have
could
the
go
wherewithal to try not to be. That's my problem.
I don't claim it's funny to her.
Right.
But as long as I'm laughing.
That's half
One of us is laughing.
That's half a success. It's better than nobody happy.
There you go.
I could.
See, that's funny. Better one of us be happy than none of us happy.
That's a great argument. I'm going to use that next time. I'm sure that won't end me up on the couch.
What are you supposed to do? Here we go. Oh man, we got
We gotta pack it up.
Time is. I can't believe the time is.
Oh,
flowed.
we're gonna run over. Well,
this is a long one. Okay. We got to get into the riddlings here.
all right. Well, then if that's the case, then we got to buckle up because we've got a new agenda when it comes to our riddlings, and that is a tidy little 3-minute package. So if you're ready, I'm ready.
Speaking of tidy little packages, here we go. Let me get things kicked off with what is the Riddlink?
Well, Riddlink is a game we like to play, which is a 2-part trivia-based question, and it requires a 2-part but overlapping answer, overlapping by sound or syllable, or even multiple words. For example, last week we left you with 007 will tell you she is M's secretary and wants to invite you to share her imagination. So 007's M's secretary is Moneypenny, and our idiom that day was a penny for your thoughts. So the correct answer would be money penny for your thoughts, and that's how we play Riddlink.
Well, let me jump in with one, and you guys can race it out along with our illegitimate children. This brand helps build strong bodies 12 ways, but I'm just trying to throw you off the track.
Do one more time.
This brand helps build strong bodies 12 ways, but I'm just trying to throw you off the track.
All I can think of is 11 herbs and spices. That's obviously not what you're talking about.
Strong bodies.
This brand helps build strong bodies 12 ways, but I'm just trying to throw you off the track.
All right, so something red. Is there a brand that ends in red?
I'm trying to think. I thought I was hipping with it. But
It is. It's
Wonder Bread Herring.
It's a Wonder Bread herring.
build strong bodies.
That's their terrible slogan.
Because white bread is good for you.
Helps. Well, I guess they enrich it with 12 different things, but what's next?
Not a sponsor.
All right, what about you? Did you come with
Yeah, so
Riddlink? Right on.
this Chris DeBerg hit about a strangely pungent fish.
Lady in Red Herring.
Is it lady or woman? Lady in Red Herring.
Got it.
That's the only line of the song I know.
All right, let me give
dancing
you
with
guys
me.
one. Oh
Fish
man, which
cheek
one?
to cheek.
I'll give you this one. This is a misleading clue for Mr. Humperdinck. A misleading clue for Mr. Humperdinck.
Red Herringelbert? Engelbert?
That's it. Red-Herring.
Red Herringelbert Humperdinck?
Humperdinck.
Humperdinck. It's like the Princess Bride.
Oh, yeah. That's a great
Okay,
movie.
I got another one here.
Yeah, give it to me.
Throwing you off the scent because Johnny Cash burns.
In a red herring ring of fire.
That's great. It's easier when you're listening than when you're with you guys to actually think about the answer. Okay, I got
our
one more.
illegitimate children. Come on, you can beat us here.
Okay.
Let's go. Beat.
So this one is kind of, you kind of have to see into the future a little bit.
Okay.
But a future episode's idiom about enjoying oneself all night in the city while searching for this dried fish. What? So the first part of this in itself is an idiom.
Okay.
A future episode's idiom about enjoying oneself all night in the city.
Red Herring.
Oh, I see what you're saying. A future episode. Yeah, we should do that one. Paint the town red herring.
Well, how are we doing on time?
We are,
And that's-
aces. we got
We still got time.
tons of time.
Okay, well, hit us up. You got
So
you got something here?
I do, but I usually leave one for everyone. Do you have another
I'm
one?
tapped out. You got another one?
I'm tapped.
Oh well, then
Let's hear yours.
Okay,
And then but we won't do it.
We're
Yeah,
not-
yeah.
you wanna
We'll send
hear
them
it?
off to ability. Let's hear it.
all right. Well, why don't you tell everybody how they can get in touch with us?
You can
then?
reach out to us on Instagram at the.village.idiom or email thevillageidiom@gmail.com, or whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter at 3 Minutes Gone.
All right, pay attention. Here it is. They used red herring to train horses when this couldn't be found. But when they acquired the herring, they just let it go.
That's good stuff. Well, that has been 3 Minutes Gone.
Yeah, there it is. Well, man, it's been good having you on this episode. Super fun.
You're cool to stick in for another?
Let's do another.
Sure.
Let's do another.
Let's do another. Let's make it happen.
We'll give you 2 minutes to write some riddlinks. It's nice when somebody else gets it and makes them succinct and they
Are we
work.
still on air?
Yeah.
Okay.
You ready? And go. No.
Well, it's been fun putting today's episode together. We've hope you enjoyed listening to it. I am Skinny.
Our guest has been,
Chris.
and I am Jurassic Stinky Fish Mark.
These are the Village Idioms.
I'm so sad. I played the wrong music for the beginning of Riddlink, so now it's not even queued up right. Wah, wah, wah. Red herring, red herring, red herring.
That's 3 minutes gone.